My name is Marilyn Jackson, as I was introduced as. I am the owner and founder and head chef of Delightfully Vegan LLC, where we believe in helping humans, saving lives, one dish at a time. And as you can see, or hopefully you see on the left, probably your right, these are one of my famous healthy bowls. And on the right is one of my famous soul food bowls. So we do a mixture of both soul food and real healthy. I believe in order to understand a person's vision, a person's business, you need to kind of understand where it comes from and the background. So for me to get you guys to see my vision a little bit better, I would like to give you just a little bit of background, okay? So Delightfully Vegan LLC initially started out as, it was a spiritual journey that I needed for myself to kind of redirect where I was going. I was at a moment in my life where I needed to change. I needed some things to change. The working field wasn't working for me, and I just had so many dreams and so many aspirations, and it just was kind of like bubbling up inside of me. So in 2018, I went on a 40-day fast. It's formerly known as a 40-day Daniel fast or a Lent fast, depending on which religion that you may be coming from. So what happened was I had gotten married back in 2018. I had relocated to Gaithersburg, Maryland, and went on this fast, okay? During the fast, I had a lot of clarity. It was very cleansing for me, mentally and physically. During that time, I was able to actually write a book. It's unpublished, but I did write a book. And the Delightfully Vegan vision was kind of birthed, okay? So I created and developed a business idea that would enable me to not only share my love for cooking, great tasting food, but to also share the plethora of information and knowledge that I had gained over the 6+ years of being vegan, which it would have been 3 years at the time, but it's now going on 7 years. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, as a new entrepreneur who really, guys, didn't know what I was doing, I'm sure you all can relate to that. I had 3 top challenges that I wanted to discuss with you guys today. First, obviously, is capital. The next would be logistics. And the next would be, if we're going to come up here, prioritizing, okay? Delightfully Vegan LLC's capital challenge would be, bear with me here, initial investment, high upfront costs for premises, equipment, and inventory. Ongoing expenses, which would include rent of a space, utilities, marketing, inventory, and supplies. We feel that potential solutions to this issue would be funding options, obviously, loans, grants, crowdfunding, or investors, cost optimization, streamline operations, reduce waste, partnerships, collaborate with complementary business or influencers, marketing efficiency, leverage social media, content, and marketing, professional advice, consult a financial advisor, and business mentors, which I have actually inquired a business mentor and a financial advisor. Okay. And the next challenge would be a logistics challenge, and that would include supply chain management, reliable suppliers, inventory, timely deliveries, distribution, delivery, shipping costs, product quality, inventory management, which is stock levels, waste, and freshness, warehouse and storage, space optimization, inventory turnover. So we believe that solutions to these issues would be logistics automation, software integration, third-party logistics partnerships, supply chain optimization, warehouse management, efficient storage systems. I want to try to keep it, maybe I should be over this way. Okay, so by addressing these challenges, we can improve delivery satisfaction, increase efficiency, enhance supply chain resilience, scale operations for growth, which is what we all want, is growth. Okay, our next challenge is prioritization. Our next and final challenge. This obviously is multiple demands, okay? customer needs, employee management, marketing, financial tasks, completing objectives, weighing short-term goals against your long-term vision, limiting resources, allocating scarce time, money, personnel effectively. Apologies. And so, again, I'm sure you guys can relate to this. The symptoms of these issues: you feel overwhelmed, you feel burdened with undertask, inability to focus on these things. How many of us procrastinate? Unfortunately, sometimes delaying important decisions or tasks, inefficiency, duplication of efforts, wasted resources. Okay. So we believe at Delightfully Vegan LLC that the key areas to prioritize these things would be customer acquisition and retention, marketing, customer service, product development, innovating, improving vegan offerings, financial management, cash flow, budgeting, investments, team management, which I love a great team, employee development, communication, all right? So the strategies for prioritization would be something that I've looked up and we've looked up and researched on is the Eisenhower matrix: urgent versus important task categorization, goal setting, SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound objectives, delegation, empowering employees to take ownership, time blocking, scheduling, focused work periods. All right. In conclusion, Delightfully Vegan LLC has, let me step back over this way, has tremendous potential to become a beloved and thriving fixture in our community, bringing delicious plant-based options and passion for sustainability to the forefront. However, to overcome its current challenges and reach scale, our business urgently needs an investor or investors who share our vision. With strategic investment, Delightfully Vegan LLC can secure necessary capital, optimize logistics, and strike a vital balance between business growth and personal well-being. By partnering with the right investor, we at Delightfully Vegan LLC can realize its full potential, enriching the lives of customers, employees, and the community at large, while solidifying its position as a leader in the vibrant plant-based movement. On behalf of Delightfully Vegan LLC, I myself and my team, which we're not here, but I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, together we can create thriving hub for healthy, sustainable living, enriching the lives of our customers, team members, and the community at large. We truly, truly look forward to collaborating with like-minded partners who share our passion for nourishing people and the planet. We thank you so much for considering our cause. Let's grow brighter, healthier future together.
Could you tell us a little bit about your services and, like, specifically, are you catering? Are you a restaurant? And then the second part there is, could you tell us a little bit about your customers?
Okay. So, and I apologize if I wasn't elaborating on that in the very beginning. I was trying to kind of freestyle just a little bit. So currently, we actually started out as a vending and catering company. So we would go to local events. I heard you say Kamika and Black. I've actually worked with them for the Juneteenth. It was amazing. We vended quite a few events for them, like 2 or 3 events for them. So we would basically vend at local community events, and that stretched out to catering. We would cater, local events, a dinner party, what have you. And then recently, I had actually applied to be a vendor at the Broad Street Market. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Broad Street Market in Harrisburg. That was 2 years ago. We actually were founded or birthed, I would say, in 2021. So after the first year is when I put in for to become a vendor, and I didn't hear anything. There was, a lot of transition. I'm sure you guys heard of the fire and everything. So that kind of laid dormant for a little while. And then I got a call and an email asking if we could come they were lacking, the option in the market, and they would love to have us. I was thrilled. Went and had a meeting with them. So now we were offered and leased a space in the Broad Street Market, which will operate 3 days a week. And we plan to have 2 days for, prepping. And that's ultimately what, we wanted, to actually gain a space and to be able to offer it to the community. We offer to plant-based, obviously, but we offer, when I tell you, the amount of non-vegans, the amount of non-plant-based eaters that we've served in the community is outstanding, because we believe strongly in flavors and trying to incorporate your favorite meals, which could be spaghetti, which could be pizza, which could be, I don't know, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, whatever the case is. And we've converted to vegan so that you're not missing too much. You may know it's not meat, but tasting it, you could be food. So I want to say we cater to both, but the predominant customer base that we're, trying to appease would be vegan and plant-based, but we want to serve everyone because we want everyone to be healthy.
Well, when does the lease start with the Broad Street Market? Is that like right around the corner?
It is. Yeah. So our lease actually starts November, but we have to do contracting, permits, complete build out, because the previous owner took everything. So it's literally down to just a wall and the hood. So we have to provide equipment, and we have to do a build out. So it's going to take a couple of months.
Got it. Well, I guess I don't have like a lot of questions, but the way that you presented like the slides, I felt like a lot of the sort of solutions, hey, like this is what I think the solution would be, like they were pretty dialed in, and like a lot of so we're White Rose Ventures. I mean, we are an investment firm. We could talk about it. It's more of a venture capital fit. Like, I don't know if the business would be a fit for it. So I could talk to you about different profiles of different kinds of investors who I think would probably be a little bit better fit. But one piece we mainly work with like technology entrepreneurs, and often to say like the only advantage you have as a tiny startup, it's like the ability to focus. And so what you were saying, I'm not even really familiar with kind of the Eisenhower method, but kind of the top, 3 priorities. I think it was so cool seeing that you had already given these things a lot of thought, because it seems like a lot of the strategies are sort of there. At the same time, it's like a lot of the lists on your slide were like a lot of different things. And so if you have all of the back burner and nice to haves and things that we want to get to eventually, like I do think that sort of Eisenhower method, I think you called it, of like, if you're writing a list every day that's 20 things long, like that's probably not productive, because you're only going to be able to cross off 3. So it's like, what are kind of the 3 most burning top priority things? And focus is kind of like your only superpower at this stage, because you don't have a giant team of people. Anyway, I don't know. That was just one thing that came to mind with your presentation. It's it's good to have a huge back burner of things to do, but I really liked what you were saying about kind of honing in on just the most important kind of to-dos and focusing 80% of the effort there, say, and 20%, that 80-20 rule, to the other things. And then once you cross the 3 things off today's list, then there's time to, bring back the rest. But I enjoyed the presentation. Glad to talk to you after about investment.
Absolutely.
Very cool presentation.
Thank you.
2 comments. First, I love jackfruit.
Oh, good.
Wonderful vegan crab cakes, pork, wonderful. But I when you were describing this, I thought about, have you gone to a place like Southern Market in Lancaster and talked to the vendors there? It's an area where kind of what you're trying to do. It's a low cost entry to build that kind of viral following, and I think some of those restaurateurs, some of those foodies in Lancaster at Southern Market, but that they start their little stand, if you will, and then they build, and then they're able to grow their business. Right. I would just consider that, of talking to people who have done something like this before to help you. And that's one area that I would think.
I keep hearing Lancaster.
Yeah, Southern Market in Lancaster is a really fun place. And a lot of foodies have really started their businesses there. So I would commend you to talk to people who've done this before as well. So a suggestion.
You were talking about staying focused on things like that. Do you guys have a CRM system in place to sit there and, moderate and keep track of things? Do you guys have that already in place? Like, what are you guys using for that?
So we partnered with Chosen Generation. They're a business startup, coaching. She does a lot under her business, but we have partnered up with them to help kind of get these things into better order. She's been great. She's really been great.
That's awesome. And then another thing I would recommend, at least for your group that you have, one of the programs that me and my partner use, we use a system called Trello. It really allows you to sit there and put detailed tasks, and then you could sit there and actually add members and actually delegate some of those tasks directly to them. And then there's all these type of automations on it. So you can send an email to them directly, let them know that this task is due on this date. You can also do that for yourself as well. I just recently did that for, I got something I need to make sure that I do, but that's just one of the systems. There's another program called workday.com as well. So these are just different programs that you could, that can help you streamline some of the things that you need to get done kind of on the back burner, some of the administration, day-to-day tasks and things like that. So those are two software and they are free. At least Trello is. But if you was there and just peek into them, those are things that can possibly help with your workflow.
I really loved hearing about how many times you reiterated we want to partner with people who have the same vision as us. I love that you're not just looking for a solution, but you're looking for long-term partnership, long-term community. And that sticks out to me because there are other people who have the same mindset as well. They're looking to not just invest in any local business, but specifically the ones that are passionate too. You're in Harrisburg, you said? So I'm not sure with the crossover of what organizations are best to connect with there. But here in York, I, for a time, was functioning in an entrepreneurial sphere, but in the artist realm, and trying to acquire funding for something like that is very challenging. It felt similar just because you're doing something that also already exists. So there are people who are a couple steps ahead of you, and other people would prefer to fund them versus like a new startup. But for me, I was able to find grants and also partners who were willing to fund privately based on their buy-in as well, on like an emotional level. So something that, and this might not be on track at all for you, so leave it behind if you're not here for it. But a lot of the time in cities, there are different types of funding buckets for healthy eating and incorporating that in schools, in neighborhoods, in unexpected areas. I mean, maybe you already too are familiar with this.
Well, yes, because I actually started unofficially a nonprofit that would allow that opportunity to go into schools, to go into, maybe colleges, churches, different organizations like nursing homes, because I don't know if you guys have anyone, any family members in nursing homes, but the food that they serve them is horrible. So that's why I said I've looked I have so much in this little big head of mine that it is, sometimes it's hard to focus, like you said, on honing in, because my vision is so big. It's so big for the company, for the nonprofit, because of that. There's so many different needs in different areas. And I'm so glad that you said that, because even with the Broad Street Market, when I first applied for vending space, and again, I told you, kind of got like swept under the rug. But I later found out that there's two new managers there now. One manager's vegan. She understood the need. You see what I'm saying? So even though I had to wait 2 years, it was worth the wait, but she understood the need in the community. We're lacking that, and just like you go to, wherever, honestly, there's so many options for food. You can go to Wendy's, you can go to Burger King, you can go to Olive Garden, you can go to wherever, and there's so many options for, I would say, I don't want to say regular eaters, but I don't want to offend anyone, but non-plant-based eaters, I'll say that. But there's not enough options for plant-based eaters. We're out here, and after my research, this is like it's going to be $62 billion industry come 2029. And so it's out here. It's just lacking, in my opinion, it's lacking in certain areas. So I would like to bring it to the areas that it's lacking in, and eventually even disperse to other areas as well, but have a home base,
And you might even be able to, if it seems like those opportunities with the schools or nursing homes or wherever isn't necessarily opening up, like you have a foot in the door, but it's not going anywhere. Another thing to look into might be there are like fresh food trucks that go into the cities a lot where they bring the produce and things like that. But partnering with them to maybe take it a step further of this is also then equipping people how to use the food. I do think that probably picking, like these are like a huge swath of problems to try and solve all at once. And when I was listening to that presentation, my worry was that it's too wide for where you're at right now. And relationships and partnerships will probably keep you afloat in a somewhat saturated industry. And so looking for other businesses who have the same mission as you and starting there might be a good way to like visibly get out there more so that when you're applying for funding and grants, you have proof of concept, I guess.
There are a couple different funding streams that may be better for you than direct investment. So one, you already have a customer base. If you have relationships in a wider community, there are crowdfunding platforms that may be a better bet where you're literally saying, you know, I have this fit out that I need to do at the Broad Street Market. It costs this much, you know. You can ask your clients, your customers, your relations to put some in. And if you put it out on one of those platforms, you often reach a wider market than just your already backers and are able to raise funds from outside of your current client base. Similarly, there are crowd lending platforms. Like we had a program with the city of York, which it may still be operational. I'm not totally sure, but it's with kiva.org, which is 0% interest loans. So you get your customer base to something like 30 people to contribute $25 loans. And then it gets put on the overall platform and reaches a global network of people. And you can, really pull on the heartstrings with a crowd lending or any kind of crowdfunding pitch. But with that, you focus on the fact that you are a small business that is serving vegan food that has a positive mission. You're a minority woman doing the thing. You're out there. There are all sorts of areas that you're able to touch base on that can really get people invested emotionally enough to get invested, at least in small dollars. So, if your equipment needs are like 10 grand, crowd lending might be the best area for you to go right now in the short term.